We are in a very interesting place. We don't know when the next floods and rains will come, but what we do know is that we have to be ready for anything. So to help us, or to help the national conversation on floods, resilience, and all of that, is Dr. Bright Achusogbe, PhD. He's with the Africa Development Council. He joins us this morning to see if we can get something across to those who wield power to get our fortunes or situation changed for us. Doc, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So which title, we're a country of titles. Yeah. So which titles fits or is more proper, the Togbe or the doctor?
Oh, doctor.
Doctor is fine.
Yes, engineer okay. Must be added.
Engineer.
We have many doctors. We have medical doctors.
Yes.
But I am an engineer.
Engineer.
Okay. Exactly.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And my name is Eben.
I am Ikyoting Amponsa.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we want to start with the floods of 28th into 29th. Where were you on that day? And then give us a report on what happened around you.
Okay. Thank you very much. The media network, Bullet TV, and your viewers. In fact, what happens to Ghana between the 28th, 29th of June has been unprecedented. Even though we have similar things in the 70s, and then I think 95 had some of the sort, and then recently I think 2015.
Yeah, June 3rd disaster.
Exactly. It has been very, very catastrophic because it has, it caught people unaware. It started raining, I think, the day till the following day, and over 7-hour downpour is catastrophic. You know, life, as we say, we are created by God, and we are given the power, the brain faculty to prepare for any eventuality like this. Unfortunately, our part, I'm talking of Africa, we don't think ahead. That's the problem facing us. Look, flooding can occur anytime, any day, but it is up to the citizenry, the leadership, to prepare for it. The climate change, we have not yet seen anything yet. More rain will hit all parts of the world, including Africa. But how prepared
are we for that?
That's why we are here. See, this country's perennial flooding, I categorize it into 3 broad categories. 1, it is leadership failure. 2, economic failure. And then 3, engineering failure. When we're talking of leadership failure, we have been talking about this flooding situation year in, year out.
Yeah.
When it happens, we talk about it. When the day goes by, and that's the end. We wake up the following year, it comes unprepared because of leadership failure.
Right.
You see, leadership, I belong to a think tank, Africa Development Council.
Right.
Our main focus is ensure a paradigm shift from taxation economy to production economy.
Okay.
A paradigm shift from private-led industrialization, which only gives a peanut in the form of tax to the nation, and then chunk of that money gets out of the country, capital flight. The Africa Development Council promotes national or state-led industrialization. It is out of this industry that a nation can prepare itself against some natural disasters like this. If you don't have money, you have the natural resources, you don't add value to it. For example, in this country, how many oil and gas companies does Ghana have? How many mining companies does this country have? All right, in foreign hands, capital flight. or for instance, we are interested in taxing Kelewele sellers to develop a nation. That is why I say it is leadership failure.
Okay. So before, so that I understand where you are coming from, are you blaming foreigners for the floods?
No, I am blaming Ghana is not having that economic capacity to build proper drainage system.
Okay.
When roads are being constructed, it goes through valleys, hills. The valley side must be well engineered,
right,
such that it rains, but it is not accumulated on top of the bridges.
Does that become a leadership failure or an institutional failure?
It is a leadership failure. For example, Burkina Faso had been taken over by somebody who might not be an engineer,
right,
but glued himself around with engineers, experts. So they enter into, how do you call it? National infrastructure project. First of all, they have to nationalize all the companies that makes money, and so that the money stays in the country. They will not settle on taxation. Before we can solve national problem, you must run the company yourself. If you know that you cannot, no private man will run a company and leave you chunkerman to develop with it. So Abraham Traore quickly ensure nationalization of all natural resources, all companies that are related to natural resources, so that we even, I mean, let's say the state has 51% in all companies in this country. We're going to make a lot of it. But what do we say? It is opposite. The state has 5%, 10%. 10% in all natural resources. How are you going to use that to build bridges, proper, well-engineered bridges? All these networks are very capital intensive, and it involves engineering input. So if leadership fails to nationalize our economy, we will go in for fake substandard construction system that will lead to our perennial flooding.
So if I get your submission, you are looking at industrialization.
Industrialization.
Right. But we know that that could be a long-term goal. However, we wouldn't want to compare that of Burkina Faso because of the coup d'etat. We're a country that is beacon on democracy. Now, let's look at it this way. According to the Auditor General's report in 2021, he cited that the Ghana Hydrological Authority, now authority, then agency, between 2015 and then 2019 said that they were going to have some drainage and then some water retention ponds built. What happened in 2019 after this vision, or we had that dream as a state, was that they could not even live up to 50% of that dream. It was about 11.1%. And they cited lack of funding as one of the issues. But it brings me back to the question. If we know we are not capable, why do we even say that between this period and that period, we want to do this? And then when we're unable to, that is when we come back to blame leadership. Why don't we tell the people that, hey, we cannot do this. This is what we can do.
Very good. You see, it's a chain. All my reason given has linked one thing or the other. From 1990 to date, if you are not a person of technical know-how, you are not qualified to lead China.
Does that mean we don't have the men?
That's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
That's what I mean. If you're not an engineer, you cannot be a president of China since 1990. The reason is that leadership, political leadership, is more of engineering than social sciences. So now, if somebody, hydrological system, tells you we're going to build a drainage system, and then it will take us 11 months or whatever, and the amount is this, if the leaders, let's say the Ministry of Roads and Highways, the ministries or whatever leaders are there of technical know-how, they will know that, no, what you're telling us is not correct. I will not put that in public domain, because I myself am an engineer. Who advised you that we can finish this within this amount, within this period? I am an engineer. I will not take that. But you see, the leadership at the top, political leadership, are social sciences who are posted to take care of engineering system. Anything that the engineer tells them, they accept. But, and that leads to disappointment. That is what we are saying. That now you made mention of the fact that industrialization takes a long way. No, recently, the South African-based mining company lease is nearing expiration. Ghana must nationalize it and then run it and flow shares with Ghanaians. So Ghana, the country has about 51%, and then the Ghanaian will have 49%. We can make money out of that. But it's going to be given to a private man. And then the state will just be taxing.
Because we have not really had a good history of managing our national assets.
Very good. That is bad. You know, it's as a result of the fact that during Nkrumah's regime, he surrounded himself with engineers. So an engineer cannot fail unless those people without engineering spirit. You know, there are people who are corrupt, who profess to be engineers. I'm not talking about those people.
Okay.
Anybody trained engineer will never be assigned any industry in this country, and it will fail.
Okay, so it brings me back to the question that I asked. Is it that we do not have the technical knowing engineers in this country? Because even at the district level, at the municipal assemblies, we have district municipal engineers who are posts. That is why we have a ministry that oversees some of these things, and there are engineers still there.
Very good.
We appoint people of the technical know-how. So does that mean that we do not have them at all?
Oh, very good. You see, when you have blade and you have axe to cut trees, you have blade to cut nails, and then you send axe to where nails are, and then I'm talking of fingernails, and then you send blade to cut trees, it will be mismatched. What I'm trying to say is that currently engineering industries have been taken over by non-engineering professionals. Now, if that person who is non-engineer, for example, Tamar Refinery and other petroleum companies, the CEO there is not an engineer, and you expect an engineer down there who needed to be promoted to that level cooperate with you, they will sabotage you. That is why we advise across the country, leadership must woo people with technical know-how to help them. Not that you just win power and appoint anybody to be in charge of hydrological system because it's your party, it belongs to your squad. If the person doesn't have hydrological know-how, he shouldn't be posted there.
Okay.
That is what is causing engineers opposing, trying to sabotage you. We cannot be here, and then we started in school.
Right.
You failed to pass engineering courses, and then I am now the chief engineer, and you post some lawyer or somebody to be CEO over me. I will sabotage you.
So
That's
is that a problem that you have identified
exactly,
and then can beat your chest to it?
Yes. As a reason, things are not going well, especially where engineering entities is headed by non-engineers.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I get where you're coming from now, but let's look at something else. You built your earlier point on three legs: engineering, leadership,
Economy.
and economic.
Yes.
Before we come to economic, practically, what are some of the engineering failures that your institute has found? For instance, in Accra.
Thank you.
That we don't know when the next floods will happen, but what needs to happen is we need to do something. Floods, you said something I really liked. We cannot stop floods. Floods will keep happening. We are now left with a job to be prepared.
Yes.
So what are some of those practical things we can do on the engineering side of things to be on a safer side?
Thank you very much. Let's look at our road construction, our road network. The road networks were not from hilly areas to your destination. Some goes down, goes up. Now, the depression areas, we construct road there. There must be bridge or drainage system spacious enough to allow, no matter how high the flood rate is, to allow it to pass under. But if you go there, the depression, that is, when you are traveling, the road topography, we have depression and we go up.
Yeah.
Down there, the drainage system, including the bridge, are as low as anything.
Right.
So when it rains, oh, come on, the down is already overwhelmed. So the road will be overtaken by the flood upwards. And if it is you are in traffic situation, you'll be there and you'll be washed away. Your car will be washed away while in traffic. So now it boils down to economics. To if the most capital intensive in road construction is the drainage system. Now, if the drainage system is so low because of lack of money, you definitely leave it like that. So now, where do we don't have the money? We only run the economy, we run development from taxation. How much tax can you get from your natural resources if it is tax? You get peanut. But if you nationalize it and then take at least 51% as this for the state, and then you privatize the 49%, the state is assured of 51% of, if it is 1 billion per annum, you have your 51% of 1 billion to do your construction, to do proper engineering road network, and we are good to go.
Right. So, a place like Tema historically has not experienced floods. But for the first time, parts like Community 5 got flooded. Now, Tema, we keep bragging it's an industrialized city with good drainage system and all of that. Has these engineering measures in place but still experience flood? Checks will reveal that wastes were, instead of water, we just had polythene bags and all of that in the drainage systems. How would you describe that problem? Because, again, this part of Tema Community 5 that got flooded is that estate that belongs to, if you like, an engineering state enterprise. The inhabitants or the workers of this enterprise, they live there. So it didn't make sense that you find,
So it means that they had proper engineering systems to curtail some of these situations.
We have engineering living in bungalows around these areas.
Areas that were flooded.
But they got flooded.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, I'm happy that you made mention of the fact that historically, Tema doesn't get flooded like that. What that means is that city was planned by, you don't need to be an engineer per se, to be a president. But once you are elected a president, glue the engineers around you to work for you. Nkrumah drew engineers, drew engineers around him. They planned Tema City for industrialization. And that's why you have alluded to the fact, or you have mentioned that it does not experience. Now, all this engineering system for over 60 years might be collapsing in one way or the other. Hence, the new development.
Right.
So, everything boils down to well system planning. Now, we have a National Planning Commission, who is somewhere else. And then we have two political parties who have their manifesto opposite to National Planning Committee. So, governance should be continuum. Government must be continuum, but it is not like that in our country. You come, within the 4 years, whatever you want, you do it and you leave. Okay. The next person also comes. Who will hold these politicians to check?
Okay.
Is the question. That's why the Africa Development Council, a think tank responsible for pushing Africa towards state-led industrialization, we are in. It is out of this that you can get enough capital, not loan, to solve such problems as this.
You really think that, okay, I'm coming,
right,
that the state is ready now with all the other issues confronting us to fully, fix flooding? I am of the view that the private enterprise should come in to help us. But we should begin by allowing the municipal assemblies to work without too much state interference.
You see, as I said, my first point of blame, I say leadership failure. And it's all about economic failure. Ghana is a solid unitary state. Yeah. We have central government that disburses funds to all. Now, municipalities do not have funds on their own if it's not financed from central government.
Right.
Now, and money hardly come. Enough money comes from from the central government. So they have to resort to other things, building permit, which also take another form, if I want to talk about it now. Let's say you have money, you go in for hilly land to build on. Hilly lands compared to the watery or waterlogged land, hilly land is more expensive. Now you get money, spend all that money in acquiring the land. Now you want to build, then produce permit. Okay, how much is the permit? Unnecessary amount, preventing majority of Ghanaians from building on the hilly land. Then you say, okay, now this money I get, let me get a waterlogged area, cheap, and use the rest to bribe permit. So that, because if you want to go through the right way, they will be frustrating you. 10 years, some people, when we raised this issue, some people said, even 10 years, they are unable to get their permit. So now it comes back to me if Ghana is prepared to do all this, as I say. If South African company, gold mine, can make such money from Ghana, and it is nationalized today, we will make more than that money to solve our problem.
Okay. Let's stay a bit on nationalizing industries. A company that is privately controlled, or an individual, private individual comes in and says, look, you have these resources and I want to tap into it. But you know that I need to get certain systems, certain infrastructure in place, employ your indigents before I can kickstart this business. You agree? For the start, government says that we are signing a 20 years contract with you, and we're going to make like 11% of what's your income at the end of the year. That is the kickstart. That is how much government is making from the onset because of certain things that has to go into it before the company even starts to operate. Not to even talk about the tax holidays that are being given to these companies. After the 20 years elapse, now, government wants to say that I want to take this industry, I want to take this company or own it. It has to go through other processes. That can also result to we spending as a country. Why don't you rather encourage these companies to stay and then continue to contribute, but rather maybe we'll bid from 11 to 20%? Is that not a way to go, rather than saying that we want to do a full control? Because it comes with another cost. And sometimes it ends even at the international level where cases are being trialed and then we end up losing.
Thank you very much, lady. You see, Ghana is a sovereign nation. And the Constitution has empowered the president to take a decision in favor of the state. Go to hell. The state is a sovereign state. That is why you cannot take a... So you see, never fear that any court anywhere will intervene when a sovereign state takes decision. Your year, the total number of lease is up. We are no more interested in doing it. Look, it's like rent. I give it to 10 years, it is up. I'm no more renewing it. It's as simple as that. As a sovereign nation. Unless, of course, somebody wants to hijack that, make money out of it, and then it will not go into the system for us, the nation. You see, I always say, I define capitalism and socialism as this. So capitalism is a system, from my end, where politicians use state power to empower individuals, family, and friends. That is capitalism. But the socialism is a system where the politician must use, the power of the state to enrich the nation. So when you use the power of the state by nationalizing all this thing, you like goil. Another national Ghana Bank.
Broadcasting Corporation. Is it GBC?
No, our bank.
Oh, GCB.
GCB. They are all state-owned. Who could have floated share. No, that's not a problem. But leaving majority in the private hands. So socialism ensures that you use the power of the state to enrich the nation for the citizenry.
Okay.
While capitalism use the power of the nation to enrich family and friends against the citizenry.
Okay. But each party also have their own means of oppression. The NPP is known to be a capitalist party, NDC a socialist party. These influences their choice of policy and even decision-making as a country, which of course has a long impact on the country. the citizenry?
They say, I mean, if you are human and you cannot change, then you're not a human. The most constant thing on earth is the change.
Okay.
So I was even trying to tell MPP that they shouldn't call themselves new patriotic. It has been long, it has been formed since. They should call themselves national patriotic, so that their nature will now be
of
national interest, and they will now make their capitalism, a little bit, flexible, so they can enrich that. For example, why 1D, 1F fail is because of capitalism. Now, the Akukon Kitikiti 2 is failing is because of lack of state-led industrial spirit in the supposedly social national democratic party, which is supposed to be socialist party. So capitalism, they use the state resources to establish 1D, 1F. I want to draw the difference.
Right.
They use the state resources to establish a factory and then hand over to a private man who is now going to struggle to sustain it. Do you have the fund? No. So it will collapse. That is how capitalism be. Use state resources to establish the factories, run it for some time, float it as a share, so that the private man can have, or better still, employ private people to run it, even though you have a majority share in it.
Okay.
Right? But you can employ ADC. We are a team, the Africa Development Council, we are a team of consortium across Africa, including engineers, lawyers, and others. If you want us to help you run an industry successfully, we are ready.
Okay.
So,
Ben,
yeah.
We're still going back to the flood.
The floods, yeah.
Yes, I want Prof to answer to answer this question for me. We're having issues of people building on waterlogged areas. We're having people building at water retention areas where the land is supposed to absorb these flood waters. And then I chanced on one person's article, which says that elsewhere in the European countries, we have waterlogged areas that have still been developed because of systems. Do you think Ghana, we stand a chance of developing our waterlogged and then water retention areas to be a place of residence for some individuals?
Very good. You see, even in Zulezu, people build on wall.
Yeah.
Right? In Zulezu.
Yeah.
Now, even some part of Dubai and China will build within the sea. So waterlogged area development is not a problem, so long as we have engineering, advanced system of engineering put in place. Do you get it? The drainage system must be of high engineering quality, well designed to absorb water and allow water to pass under it, such that people on there will never be a blockade to flow or flood. So yes, but it is engineering and capital intensive.
Yeah.
That can only be possible not by private man, but a nation. And why a nation? That is if we go industrializing, making money from our natural resources into our pocket as a nation, we can do that.
But now that we do not have that, what is the next option?
So the next option is keep those areas for now until keep those areas undeveloped for now until we have the engineering acumen to develop. And see, there is one thing. Let's say a road from here to Kumasi. Do you think this road will not pass through waterlogged areas, water detention areas? Right? It is then that at those areas we use very advanced engineering drainage system. So the same drainage system that can be done there for vehicle to pass, which is not in most cases is not. That is why all of a sudden you realize that the whole road that you just passed seconds ago on your return is down because of the flooding. Because the engineering requirement for the bridge or whatever drainage system put down there is not up to standard.
Right.
So the whole thing is as this.
Engineer, are you okay or satisfied with government's response to the flood so far?
Like demolition?
I'm not satisfied. Do you know why? We don't just stand up and then demolish anybody's thing when maybe that person might have been given permit. And you just wake up because of flood, you demolish it. I don't think that is the best. And then issuing...
You don't think demolition is the best?
Demolition is not the best.
But you just said that we should hold on
Yes.
on...
developing those areas.
Yes. So demolition will probably be an option for those that have built in waterways, retention sites. We should clear them, don't you think so?
As I say, when government fails to make building easy, because Ghana, we are facing a huge, acute housing deficit. Many people are sleeping anywhere. So it is up to government to secure land at higher ground and build low-cost housing. But you don't do it. So somebody's toil to do it, and unfortunately, maybe the person did it during dry season, and it is flooded. We don't go and pull it down like that. Especially when you look at the structure, it is of high content of concrete. You have to take a second look. Unless, of course, you're going to compensate that person to relocate to, after you pull it, you can get someplace to sleep.
Provided there's an insurance.
Well, but so what I'm trying to say is that we don't wait till it happens before we take a knee-jerk reaction. We must be prepared. The nation must, we have the money, we have oil, we have gas. Look, when was the last time Ghana has its own industry established, apart from Atamil's Ghana gas? It's like the Bible, when Jesus woke up, Jesus resurrected, that's the end of the Bible chapter. We need, I appeal to these two parties to industrialize. Let's have more refinery. Currently, I understand some local refinery is being praised that Ghana is... If we refine, how much do we retain in our country? We need the state to be in the driver's seat as far as taxation, profit-making ventures are concerned.
Engineer,
yes.
Our time is very limited.
Yes.
What about those who are on the wrong side of the law right now? They have built in places they are not supposed to build. There are people in agencies, state institutions, who have also watched on for people to build, to put structures and all. What should we do with them?
We call something retrofitting.
Okay.
Not all houses on the waterway were pulled down. It's only those with weaker connections. Okay, those with strong connections, they bypass them. Next time they will retrofit it. They will re-engineer it to ensure, the blockade system that does not allow easy flow of water is allowed. For example,
you said retrofitting.
Yes.
It sounds like corruption.
No, retrofitting means re-engineering.
Yes. So in your explanation, you said not all houses in waterways will be pulled down.
And that is my preamble. I'm saying that. You see what the thing we are seeing, pulling people's houses down. Maybe a minister's house was in,
but this house,
but because the minister, they may bypass it. You will not see it on telly.
So that's corruption.
That's what I mean. And when the system is not fair, it's corruption. Sure. So the risk of retrofitting is, for example, let's say here had been affected. Okay, if we want to retrofit here, it could be, I'm just suggesting, it could be that the down part will now be open.
Okay.
So we will move up. But down part concrete has been reintroduced, so that if it rains, it passes through. Then the whole building will now be up, like the car park or whatever. So there you only park cars. And if it rains, if you're lucky, you can take your car before it's up. That's what I mean by retrofitting.
How is your assessment on our fight against waste and sanitation?
Yeah. Because you didn't even mention that. However, reports that have come severally highlight the indiscipline of and the parts of citizenry.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You see, when a system is generated, when the leadership does its part, let's say if you go by the roadside, don't drop a litter. Don't litter the place. And there is no dustbin. Somebody will litter. So the state does not have money to provide dustbin. And they say you shouldn't litter.
Right.
You get it? So leadership failure. Leadership failure.
Not indiscipline.
Indiscipline is when you provide the dustbin and then the person go along to put it on the floor.
We saw
That's why they're indisciplined.
We saw that when bins were in the cities, vantage areas of the cities, even people moved refuse from their homes into these bins that were sitting by the roadside. At a point in time, they were taken off. Do you still go back to blame your leader?
I still want to blame leadership because one thing is look at the force of the rain. Eh? No waste can stop rain from that flood from going through to the sea.
Okay.
So leadership on one side, let's provide a dustbin. When the dustbins are full, let's engage the agencies to evacuate it, and then it's always empty. During the rain, you see that almost the dustbins were were choked, were overloaded, they were there. So somebody saw that, no, if that is, let me remove mine. I mean, leadership. Leadership.
I want you to answer this question for me in just a sentence. From where you sit, you've identified these problems. We've seen government upon government bringing up some failed initiatives, I would say, like forming committees and all of that. From where you sit, how many years do you think it would take Ghana to have proper drainage patterns in place?
Thank you very much. All depends upon the very top-notch official, that is the president at the time. So assuming I am president today, within 5 years, I must solve that problem. Within 5 years.
Is it in the realm, in the field of engineering, is it practical?
Feasible?
Yes. You're not going to solve the whole Ghana's country flood.
Accra, let's pick Accra.
You can pick Accra and solve within 5 years, provided I am able to nationalize, industrialize, and then make the money without borrowing from IMF, World Bank.
Thank
I will
you.
solve it.
Thank you so much. That's Engineer Dr. Bright Sogbe. He's with the Africa Development Council. I think he should come back. He has
a lot to say. Where have you been done?
So that's our show today.